Welcome back to CRB Trains. Today I'm going to be listing my top 10 favorite catches of the 2022 season. I saw all kinds of trains this year, all kinds of steam locomotives, all kinds of diesels. I visited some museums. However, I'm going to be excluding steam locomotives in this video because I am way too biased towards them and they would just place above everything. So it's not fair for the regular rail fanning. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. All right, starting off in the number 10 spot, we have the CSX Office Car Special. This is my first time ever seeing the CSX Office Car Special. As you can see right there, it's got the glowing marker lights, which I was so excited to see. So we have two F40s here, CSX 1 and 2. There is a third one, however, just before this was filmed, one of them got in an accident, CSX 3. So for that reason, it was not in the consist because it was getting repaired. But this is in the brand new Baltimore and Ohio paint scheme. It used to be, the F40s used to be in YN3, and the rest of the consist was blue. And then they painted the rest of the consist, the passenger cars, they painted those in Baltimore and Ohio. And then they painted the F40s in Baltimore and Ohio. So that was really cool to see. All right, on to the number 9 spot. All right, in the number 9 spot, we have a BNSF Executive Mac. This is my first time ever seeing one, and it was really awesome. Still in the BN colors, and as you can see, this one has the BNSF logo on the side. I saw another one later in the year that had the BN numbers on the side, but personally, I think I prefer this one more. Maybe it's because this was my first one, but regardless, that takes my number 9 spot. Placing in number 8, we have Union Pacific 2002 Salt Lake Olympic. This was awesome. Not only did I see it leading in Hamilton, but when it got to Cincinnati, we were all worried that they were going to slap like a Gevo in front of it because the grade on the LCL is just too much for one engine. However, CSX pulled a fast one on us and put an SD40-2 in the front. So there were no complaints there. It would have been nice to see it lead during the daylight, but I am not going to complain about an SD40-2 leader. This was awesome. In the 7th spot, we have Canadian Pacific 7022. This was awesome. Not only was that leading, but it had Union Pacific trailing, and it had one of the Union Pacific engines behind was a SD70M. And then you can see them meeting a BNSF H2, and there's an H3 behind that. This was quite the sight to see. Placing just ahead of the Navy engine, we have Canadian Pacific Army Temperate Regions. This was awesome. Me and my buddy, Midnight Rail Fan, headed up to Columbus, Ohio, and hopes to see this engine leading, because who knows when it's going to come back. It's foreign power, and it's a special interest unit. So I personally like the way this one looks more than 7022. However, looks are obviously subjective, but that is just my opinion. All right, moving on to the next spot. Now we are in the top 5. In the 5th spot, I have CSX 559 with the RS3K. At the time, this was the only CSX engine to have an RS3K. Unfortunately now, the horn has been replaced, which is really unfortunate because this is my favorite train horn I've ever heard, and I'll play it for you in a second. But I cannot convey to you the struggles that I went through just to hear this horn. And I am so happy I did because it's gone now. I woke up at 3 a.m. just in hopes to hear it, and I did. However, since this isn't like a heritage unit or anything, it's really hard to track because nobody really pays attention to it. But, man, I am so happy I got this. All right, let's listen to this horn. In the number 4 spot, we have Canadian National 3115 BC Rail Heritage Unit. To see this thing come up the LCL leading was really nothing short of a miracle. I could not believe my eyes, and this was also my first time at Eagle Cut, and this is an absolutely beautiful shot, and the slug set in the back was a nice touch. Coming up in the number 3 spot, we have something that I never thought I would ever get the chance to see, and that is a Santa Fe Bluebonnet. I got word that this thing was sitting up on the Indiana and Ohio Railway about an hour and a half north of my house. I did not have any confirmation that it was still there, but I took the chance to drive up there just because who knows when I'd ever see one again. At the time that I'm making this video, I have not seen another one, so I am very happy with my decision to drive up there. Now we're getting into the crazy good catches. In the number 2 spot, we have a Kansas City Southern Gray Ghost leading a military train. This is awesome. At the time I was making this video, I did not have a car because it was in the shop. So I called my buddy Midnight Railfan, and he was so generous to come pick me up to get this epic catch. I mean, this was absolutely awesome. Thank you, Midnight Railfan. That leaves us with the number 1 spot. In my opinion, what the best catch that I got this year was, not including steam locomotives, would be a BNSF H1 leading a Santa Fe War Bonnet, which was also leading a Union Pacific AC6000. This was absolutely insane. I don't know if you guys remembered, if you've been watching the channel long enough, but it took me forever to catch a War Bonnet. I mean, it took forever. I was going out and missing them. At one point, I drove down to Danville with Midnight Railfan. Notice his name comes up a lot. We travel a lot. But we went down there, missed it. Well, it didn't even come at all, actually, because it caught on fire. I drove up to Hamilton once, didn't get it. And I caught a real War Bonnet before one of the BNSF War Bonnets, or fake bonnets, whatever you call them. But after I finally caught the first one, I was able to start catching them more often, so I was grateful for that. But this was a fantastic 2022 season. I cannot wait for the 2023 rail fanning season, and I cannot wait to show you what I catch. Thanks for watching, everybody.